Well then, that was certainly a bit of a shocking tag title change, wasn't it? But other things happened before that. Let's talk about it all, shall we? I'm John Recton with my review of AEW Dynamite from Savannah, Georgia. And Jane! Why is this song used for Orange Cassidy? Oh, Jane! He used it on the indies, so Khan decided to license Jane! Okay, now that I've ruined that song more than the song was already ruined to begin with, because it isn't really all that good, because a lot of Jefferson Starship songs are not that good. Nevertheless, Orange Cassidy comes out with the best tie-dye friends, and they said in the pre-tape, well, Wardlow's bigger than you, so we're going to cheat. We're going to do all the cheating. Okay, at least they admitted it. I'll give them that much credit. Wardlow gets a huge pop. And it's Wardlow versus Orange Cassidy for the TNT Championship. I wrote down if this went about 5 minutes, it would be fine. Well, it went over 5 minutes. Look, I know some people like Orange Cassidy. That's fine. I'm over Orange Cassidy. I didn't really care for it at first. And though I admit that when he wrestles, he actually can do some good stuff. It's a stale gimmick, and I don't care. I don't fucking care. People who like it, fine. There are those who don't like it, and I'm on that side of the fence. The usual fucking comedy, just stupid bullshit. You know, Wardlow ripped the pockets out of the pants. Ooh. And then Orange Cassidy took down his straps and put them back up. And look, this is stupid. This was stupid. Wardlow should have fucking flattened him. Just should have absolutely flattened him, annihilated him. And then the best friends try to interfere. At one point, Chuck Taylor puts a chainsaw in the goddamn ring. The fuck? Now it's stupid. And then they made Wardlow look like a goddamn idiot here. He gets Danhausen from out of the ring. Danhausen's gonna curse him, but then Wardlow just looks like, what the fuck is this? And then Orange Cassidy takes over. Yes, Wardlow uses power, and obviously he was toying with him and not taking him all that seriously. And Orange Cassidy was almost able to beat him with Beach Break. But you're telling me that Wardlow could beat up Scorpio Sky and beat up a bunch of American Top Team, but not beat up Orange Cassidy in 3 to 5 minutes? It's fucking stupid. He won with one powerbomb. They made him look like a fucking idiot, and I hated this. Good on Wardlow. He should have won, but he should have won more convincingly. And then we see, we do get a show of respect afterwards. Okay, that's fine. Both guys are faces, so it is what it is. But then we see clips of Pac versus Shota Umino at Rev Pro for the All-Atlantic Championship. Okay, they showed this on Dark. You know what? If they could utilize like footage from other promotions when their talents wrestle there and put it on Dark instead of just endless squash matches. I mean, sure, it's Dark. It's still on YouTube, but maybe that might be a way they get around, the utilizing footage from other promotions. That's not the worst thing in the world if you do it on Dark Elevation and Dark. It might actually pump up the numbers, because the view numbers for those particular shows, not all that great. And okay, I haven't checked that out yet. I might actually check out, that match or a couple matches from that episode of Dark. But I stopped reviewing Dark and Dark Elevation a while ago because it got to where it was all samey outside of maybe like 20% of the matches. That just wasn't worth it. I review enough stuff as it is. Nevertheless, it was good to see Shota Umino being featured and working against Pac. And apparently he's done very well for himself in Rev Pro. No, Jericho comes out as the living legend. Of course you are, Chris. Of course you are. You're fucking not, but whatever. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Look, he does a usual promo. He was trying to channel, being the angry heel and everything, but the more focused heel, the more cerebral heel, and I don't care. I don't care about this feud with Eddie has done nothing for Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston's still over like Rover, as the kids say. I think the kids still say that. But he's like, oh, the barbed wire everywhere match. Oh, what are you going to do? I'll go over all the friends that you have. And it's going to be a tidal wave of your blood. That's going to wash away my sins by using a tidal wave of your blood. I'm going to wash away everything and, Noah's Ark and all that. And all the animals won't be able to handle it. Whatever. And then Eddie Kingston jokes about the fact that he only got a few seconds while Jericho got 5 minutes. So they're in the back. And Ortiz is there. And Ruby has a cast on her hand. And Eddie basically says he's going to make him pay. You're going to pay for every, for every sin with every ounce of your blood. Please, for the love of God, have Eddie Kingston win this. Please have Eddie Kingston win this. Because Jericho winning this would do absolutely nothing. This has to be the blow-off. It's going to be a barbed wire everywhere match with the Jericho Appreciation Society suspended in the cage because we got to gimmick this shit up. God, I hope Eddie wins. Wild Thing, you make Savannah sing. It's Moxley versus Takeshita. It's taken me a long time to actually have any level of confidence saying that name, and I still barely have any. Because that's not how it looks. But anyway, AEW Interim World Championship Eliminator match. Look, Takeshita can work. Could have done without seeing footage of him wrestling kids, and it's fucking stupid no matter what country it is. Or if you're Marty Scurll, you go to bed with the kids. Hey-oh. Fuck Santino Marella, by the way, for booking Marty Scurll. Never mind about that. Let's talk about this match. It had some good strikes, some good wrestling. And again, Takeshita can work. I think they should have maybe cut this down to about 10 minutes. I don't think it needed to go over that. They did go to the floor during the break because every Moxley match has to have him go to the floor at least once or a million times. And I like Moxley, don't get me wrong, but the matches are starting to blend together. Takeshita starts bleeding pretty severely, actually. And then we get a leaping. He did a good leaping clothesline there. That was actually some pretty good stuff. We get a brainbuster for 2. We get the choke, we get an armbar, but Takeshita gets to the ropes. This is where it started to get a little ridiculous. Because, look, again, the guy can work, but this is your world champion. He should have won more convincingly. But then again, they are attempting to, push Takeshita because he has gotten quite a bit of attention. Eventually, even though he hit the German suplex for 2, and that got some boos. Maybe the fans wanted to see a second match between these guys. We may very well get that still at some point. Death Rider, elbows, choke for the win. And there you go. And then Excalibur says that we're going to pitch to Words from Darby. Then they pitched to a House of Black pre-tape. Either they forgot to inform Excalibur of what they did, or Excalibur read the wrong notes. I don't know, and I got nothing against Excalibur. House of Black, they talk, Julia Hart talks. This is a stupid presentation. Look, the group isn't that bad. I don't know what happened to Buddy. I don't know what happened to Buddy at all. Because unless he was in the background, it just completely dark, I didn't see him. It was Malachi, Brody King, and Julia Hart, who is now the Dark Heart, as it were. The Black Heart. No, actually, the only Black Heart was Owen Hart. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. They showed footage of Brody King beating up Darby. That was at the South Center Mall in the Hot Topic. It's a huge Hot Topic. I know because I've been at the South Center Mall because it's about 50 to 60 miles from me. It's a 3-level mall. The 3rd level is a goddamn movie theater. And it's a really cool mall. I also haven't been there for 3 goddamn years, but let me tell you right now, you want to see a mall that's got a lot of shit and wastes a lot of your money, and also have extremely bullshit parking because that entire section of that city is a fucking traffic circle. That's the fucking place for you. Tequila, the dive that isn't named Tacoma. Anyway, enough about Washington State geography. Let's talk about, that pre-tape. Whatever. I don't care. I'm glad that they finally did the term with Julia Hart, but now I don't care. So Christian Cage comes out to knock the Varsity Blondes, and he says, well, Pillman, just like Jungle Boy, you did have a dad, but at least your dad was a legend in this business. Legend in other people's words, not mine. I thought he was average, and that I think he would be embarrassed if he knew you were the last, the last endorsement that he had that he had as far as wrestling goes. He did some good stuff. Cage has been doing some good promos here. It's hard to care. It's hard to care about Luchasaurus, and that's nothing against the guy, but it's really hard to care because it's like, okay, they did this obvious turn. Everybody knew it was coming. Everybody's like, they're all shocked. No, it wasn't shocking. And then there's a picture of Griff Garrison that's up there. Griff is in the fucking ring, and Cage says, doesn't Griff Garrison look like Jungle Boy? And that angers Luchasaurus for some reason. We still don't know why he's turned. And then he beats up Griff Garrison, gloms him, hits 2 choke slams, and the snare trap that he calls the tar pit because he's a dinosaur. And then he beats the shit out of Griff, beats the shit out of Pillman, puts Pillman on the table, and then we get an I am the table moment because the table says, no, you will not choke slam Griff Garrison on there. No, you will die. No. Good old MST3K. Nobody gets that reference. But they would not stop with the I am the table moment and chokeslam through table. There you go. Okay, just beat the Varsity Blondes. Beat the shit out of them. Remember when they were getting a modest push? I'm not even saying Griff is going to be anything more than like, what he is now, but stop, start. I don't know. It is what it is. Shivani then is threatened by one member 2.0 with a knife. Why are 2.0 on my television? I remember when I thought that they actually weren't all that bad, and now they are way too cartoonish. This is stupid. Garcia wants Wheeler Yuta and wants to take the Pure Championship at Death Before Dishonor. And an All Out will be in Chicago. Pretends to be shocked. But then again, they always draw big crowds in Chicago, and you know what? Like Starrcade in Greensboro, at least for a few years, and how WWE had Madison Square Garden for a number of years, and everybody has their particular venue that they always draw in. They want to keep going to Chicago for All Out. I don't blame them. The weather's good. They don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about winter. Chicago's a big, mecca as far as wrestling fans. Rich history. The AWA and various other, promotions and city, and companies that have come in there and done all this stuff. All right, it is what it is. I'm still waiting for them to run a show in Seattle, but they're probably not going to do that until Bryan Danielson is cleared. And maybe they'll end up doing that at some point, especially with one of the new tag team champions. But that being said, Hangman is in a tie-dye shirt. I don't know why. Silver and Reynolds want to beat up the House of Black. The spooky perverts, as one of them says. I think it was Silver. And I don't know what they're doing with Hangman. I don't know what they've been doing with Hangman for a while. His title reign wasn't a flop because of work. It was because of how it was booked. He's an incredible worker. He is very, very good. He had some great goddamn matches this year. But whatever. Here's JR out to a pop. Regal joins commentary. Claudio versus Hager. The former Real Americans explode. Okay. I mean, Hager is boring, bland, and even though he has good athletic credentials, he can't fucking have a good match to save his goddamn life. He can't have an interesting match for sure. Claudio can only do so much. Former 2.0 guys show up, and they try to interfere. The sharpshooter got stopped, and an uppercut and Ricola bomb 1, 2, 3. At least Claudio won. That was something. It's funny how some AEW fans say, like, oh, they hate everything WWE, yet, they show up in this company and we the people chants. And again, given the city, I kind of understand why they did that. So, Lexi Nair tries to get words from Hook. That's the enthusiasm I have for this. Then footage of Thunder Rosa, and I don't know her name. Mia something. I am not going to attempt to pronounce her name because I don't want to dishonor her. At TJPW, and it's an AEW Women's Championship Eliminator match, but Mia won, or Mia, or however it's said, and she's going to face Thunder Rosa at some point. Okay, let me see. I will go back and watch that match at some point, but let me see how well this woman can work. If they have some good talent in that promotion. Can't really pronounce any of the names, but some of the footage I've seen, I'm like, okay, they have some pretty good talent. So let's see how this goes. Rosa and Tony talk about their success. Thunderstorm, and then Britt shows up, and Jamie, hater, my goodness. And because Britt did the whole thing with the sandbagging and Marina Shafir and all that, who, thank fuck, was not on this show, because Marina's not any good and should not be allowed in the wrestling ring ever again. She handed her, here's how we handle a natural disaster. They hand Rosa a sandbag because of the sandbagging accusations. See, that's funny. That's a funny prop. Thunder Rosa is an incredible goddamn worker. She blows so many people out of the water. Britt's a great dynamic character. Unfortunately, now it's gotten to the point where Britt almost... her being gone from the division hasn't really mattered, but her being champion for as long as she was got to the point where the division had plateaued. It also doesn't help that the women are only being booked haphazardly, and they have to have like big matches on Dark and stuff like that. You got Thunder Rosa, an incredible worker, as the women's champion. Utilize her. That's all I gotta say. And Anna Jay then lost to Serena Deeb in a match that Well, there was one point where it looked like Serena Deeb might have tapped, but she didn't because the referee was out of position. Look, Anna has potential. Serena is fine technically. She's also very boring and bland. And of course, she wants to handle a young talent because her boyfriend can't because he's not allowed near a high school. There were some decent moments in this, but also it was hard to care because, one, the crowd they cheered a little bit for Anna because she was from, I guess, nearby Savannah. I don't know much about Georgia geography, but Serenity Lock gets the victory. It was what it was. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't exactly my favorite. And then Mercedes Martinez stops a further beatdown because we're getting her versus Serena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship at Death Before Dishonor. And then Jade tells Tony to cut the shit, yet Jade doesn't cut the shit because she keeps talking. Layla Gray, my goodness. Kira, don't ever talk again. That's all I gotta say. I mean, Stokely, by the way, fresh off of his shift cleaning up the bathroom stalls at Munchkinland, decides to play Peacemaker, I guess. Peacemaker is a terrible movie. If you've ever seen it, I'm sorry. Rampage has Lee Moriarty versus Jonathan Gresham. We hear from the Gun Club about why they took out the Acclaimed. Private Party versus Lucha Bros. And then we're also having a women's match, I believe. It was kind of hinted at in the Jade Stokely promo, but I stopped caring. Dynamite, Eddie versus Jericho, the Grand Wizard himself, Chris Jericho, barbed wire everywhere match with Jericho Appreciation Society suspended in a cage. Death Before Dishonor rundown, Lethal interrupts, says he will win the TV championship from Joe. And Satnam Singh is just standing there like a freaking redwood that doesn't do anything. Then again, if a redwood starts doing something, that means it's entertainment, and haha, we are all in trouble. The Varsity Blondes will take on Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, and Darby will take on Brody King. I've seen both Darby and Brody King numerous times in historic Washington Hall. Boy, that's going to have a lot of tossing of a small individual around. Shivani checks out Anna Jay in the back while she's getting examined. I probably should have worded that differently. Oh boy, Ty Conte's here and Ty is talking. Dear fucking God, please help us. Help us. Help me, Spock. Help me. I don't know what Ty said, and I don't really care. I mean, I tend to tune out now because I don't want to see Ty or Sammy Guevara on my television ever again. We're going to get this feud. Anna Jay's going to have to lead this. And Anna Jay has potential. Ty, her potential pretty much, well, flatlined when her and Sammy did what they did. Nevertheless, Starks and Hobbs get a pop. So do Swerve and Lee. And then the Bucks do this and all this in the pose and the, ooh, we're so tough. They aren't even the best fucking tag team in their goddamn company. They are certainly not the best tag team in the world now. They ain't been one of the best tag teams of the last 20 years. They ain't been one of the best tag teams of the last 5 years. There are tag teams that are on the downside of their career. They could wipe the fucking floor with them because their tag teams are actually wrestlers, not stupid gymnasts that just do the same goddamn shit. And speaking of the same goddamn shit, oh, here's Cutler. Oh, Rick Knox is in this match. Fucking terrific. Let's get that guy out there. This literally looks like if Nosferatu decided to just put on a referee shirt. The Insufferbucks, as I'm calling them once again, with Cutler, took on Starks and Hobbs, and they took on Swerve and Our Glory. Swerve and Keith Lee. 3-way tag title match, and look. I wrote down that the Bucks will do the same goddamn shit like they always do. Cutler will be stupid, and Rick Knox will not do anything except take a terrible ref bump. Look, I'm sure Rick Knox is a lovely individual. He is a terrible referee. When it was Starks and Hobbs, Swerve and Lee, it was fine. When the Bucks got in there, it was the same old bullshit, same old song and dance. Lee got to show off. He collided with Hobbs, literally and figuratively. Hobbs hit a freaking amazing frog splash. Got some great height. He almost didn't make it, but he got some great height. Top rope cutter by Stark. Stark showed off here, so naturally I knew who was going to take the fucking pin. We got belt usage because Rick Knox got knocked down. Even if Rick Knox didn't, you could have made this a match where DQs had to be enforced, and Rick Knox still wouldn't have done it because his buddies are there. The Bucks and Omega, if they were off of AEW television for good, hate to say it, I don't really think anything can be missed. I haven't missed Omega one goddamn bit, and I don't miss them when the Bucks aren't there. And then we get some good action here, but then it just evolves into moves. Lee does a pounce. He dives over the top. Starks does an incredible spear for a 2 count. And then everybody just does everything. And then we get the stomp on Starks. Naturally, the most talented guy there takes the pin. Well, actually, that's unfair. One of the most talented guys in the ring takes the pin. 1, 2, 3. Swerve and Our Glory win the tag team championships. This is after Swerve had teased possibly hitting Lee with the tag team championship, which leads me to think that something's going to happen pretty goddamn soon as far as them having a short-lived reign. Huge pop, though. Big win. Really, really cool they won the tag team titles, but nevertheless, I think this is going to be short-lived. If they hold them to All Out, I will be amazed. If they hold them past All Out, I will be amazed. Because I think what's going to happen is FTR is going to beat them, and then the Bucks are going to come around. They're going to beat them for all the tag team championships, and the tag team division will cease to be interesting because the Bucks just can't stay out of their own goddamn way. Oh, but they put people over. They didn't take the pin. The Bucks, once again, are not the best goddamn tag team in the world. They ain't the best tag. They ain't even in the top 5 of tag teams in their own company. And they can't fucking stand that people are starting to see right through their shit. People who like them, great. The people that don't are growing. Because it's the same old song and dance. That being said, though, Swerve and Our Glory, the new tag team champions, so good. Let's see what happens on Rampage. I read the spoilers. I'm not going to say them here. Don't say them in the comments. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Recklin. I'll see you soon.